Michael and Lisa were once the picture of a perfect couple, but the pressures of work and the slow erosion of time had built a wall between them. Their home, once filled with laughter, now echoed with arguments. And caught in the crossfire was their 8-year-old son, Ethan. Every time his parents' voices rose, Ethan would retreat, hiding in his room, clutching his favorite teddy bear, wishing the world would just be quiet. The fights became more frequent, the silences longer. Eventually, Michael and Lisa reached a breaking point. The word hung in the air, heavy and unspoken, until one evening they finally said it out loud: divorce. They decided it was for the best. The only thing left to do was tell Ethan. They sat down, bracing themselves for the difficult conversation. They called Ethan into the living room, their faces etched with a sorrow they couldn't hide. "Ethan, honey," Lisa began, her voice trembling slightly. "Your dad and I have something important to tell you." Michael took over, trying to sound as gentle as possible. "We've decided that, well, we're not going to be married anymore. It means we won't live in the same house, but we both love you very, very much. That will never change." They watched their son, expecting tears, maybe even anger. But Ethan's reaction was something neither of them could have ever predicted. Tears welled up in his big, innocent eyes, but he didn't scream or throw a tantrum. He looked from his mother to his father, his small voice steady despite the tears streaming down his cheeks. He asked a question that shattered the tense air in the room. "If Mom and Dad don't love each other anymore, can you divorce me too?" Michael and Lisa stared at him, utterly stunned. "What? What do you mean, sweetheart?" Michael stammered, completely bewildered. Lisa was speechless, her heart constricting in her chest. Ethan wiped his eyes with the back of his hand and tried to explain his simple, heartbreaking logic. "If you two aren't going to be together, then I don't want to be separated from either of you. You're both my family. So, if you're divorcing each other, you should divorce me. That's the only way it's fair." The profound innocence and raw pain in his words hit them like a physical blow. They had been so consumed by their own unhappiness that they had completely overlooked the silent suffering of their child. Ethan didn't see them as two separate people. He saw them as his one, whole family. To him, their separation meant the complete dissolution of his world. In that moment, their own frustrations and grievances seemed so small, so selfish. They saw the deep wound their conflict had carved into their son's heart. He wasn't just a bystander in their war, he was its most tragic casualty. They looked at each other, and for the first time in months, they saw not an adversary, but a fellow parent sharing the same overwhelming sense of love and regret. The anger and resentment that had fueled their decision to split dissolved, replaced by a wave of protective love for the little boy who was willing to be divorced just to keep his world from breaking apart. Lisa was the first to move. She knelt and pulled Ethan into a tight hug, her own tears now flowing freely. "Oh, no, baby, never. We would never, ever divorce you." Michael joined the embrace, his arms wrapping around both of them, creating a circle of warmth and love that had been missing for so long. "Your son is right," Michael whispered to Lisa over Ethan's head, his voice thick with emotion. "We've been so focused on what's wrong with us, we forgot what's right." He's what's right. That night marked a turning point. The divorce was called off. The legal papers were torn up. Michael and Lisa knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy. They had deep-seated issues to work through, but now they had a powerful reason to try, a reason that was currently nestled securely between them. They decided to seek counseling, not just to save their marriage, but to rebuild their family. They started making time for each other, for family dinners without arguments, for weekend trips to the park. The shouting was replaced by conversation, the cold silences by shared laughter. They learned to listen again, not just to each other, but to the quiet needs of their son. They realized that a family isn't just about two people loving each other. It's about creating a safe, loving home for a child. It was Ethan's simple, yet profound request that had saved them from making the biggest mistake of their lives. He was the little boy who, in trying to understand a world that was falling apart, managed to piece it back together. The final scene wasn't a grand, dramatic decoration, but a quiet evening. Michael and Lisa sat on the couch, watching a movie, with Ethan sleeping soundly between them, a small smile on his face. Their home was once again a haven, all thanks to the child who saved his family by asking them to divorce him. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores the power of family and love. We'll see you in the next video.